Welcome, everyone. Hello, and how are you doing? Today, I am so excited to present to you this webinar on your goal setting, the TimeBlazr way. If you are new to who I am, hello, my name is Kathleen Horvath. I'm a business feng shui master, astrologer, and the creator of the TimeBlazr business management system. So this is a unique program that I am doing, and there's a lot of reasons why I decided to do this program. One of them is that just looking around in the news and what's happening in the news, we are really kind of following true what I had said at my annual event, that things were going to get pretty crazy this year still, but there is so much opportunity here. So I believe that when you take the right action at the right time, you have a much better energetics behind you to achieve what you are actually going after. So again, if you are here with me for the first time, hello and welcome to the community. We're so happy to have you here. And if you are a seasoned follower, thank you so much for following. It is really important to me, and very satisfying to hear some of the comments that people have made and some of the messages that I have received. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know your time is precious, just like your schedules are probably bursting, and yet you took the time. So congratulations to you for investing in yourself. So we've got a pretty big program, but before we do that, if you could let me know where you are connecting with us from today. We've got people from all over the world, and I would just love to hear where you're coming in from. And if this is the first time you have experienced the TimeBlazr. So all of last week and sprinkling of the days before that, we had done a lot of preparatory work for today's webinar. And that was talking about just the different steps. Now I'm going to do a quick navigation yet today. So, especially if this is the first time you're tuning in, but quite frankly, the more that you use the TimeBlazr, the better off you're going to be. So let's start right there. And I would love for you to grab your free 30-day trial. If you haven't done so already, just go to free30timetrial.com, because I want this to be interactive as possible. Okay. So when you are able to, get your hands in there and start doing some of the things and just kind of follow me along, you're going to have a much better opportunity to kind of understand the underpinnings of how empowering the system can be for you. Okay, so let's talk about our agenda today. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the evolution of the TimeBlazr, how it got started, why you would even want to use the TimeBlazr, and then we're going to talk about the yin and yang of business. Now, this is something that I'm very aligned with, and I want you to start to get aligned with that too, and we'll talk about that along the way. And then we're going to talk about, here's some of the yang stuff we have to deal with, the cost of distractions and to your bottom line. And then we're going to also talk about, you setting your goals, and then the next big leap. And all in there, I'm going to be, going over to the TimeBlazr if need be and things like that. So we'll be toggling back and forth from slides in the TimeBlazr itself. So by the end of the day, or end of our webinar time together, I want you to have a goal that you are ready to accomplish. Now, this is a program that is designed for people who are in business. And so even if you are potentially tuning in and you're only thinking that this is only business, obviously, yin and yang, we need to look at our personal life as well as our business life. So there are some personal applications along the way as well. Okay, so First of all, what is the TimeBlazr and how did it get started? So I'm just showing you a couple of the shots that are from the TimeBlazr. So you've got the year, month, and day view. But how this all came about is when I was studying to be a feng shui master, and it's a never-ending study, right? One of my teachers had told me, if you begin to embrace date selection, Zeri in Chinese, if you embrace this concept of using this to do your milestone activities, I don't want you to micromanage it so much that it begins to stifle you. What this is a planning and strategic tool. And that's what he told me. He said, if you use it yourself, you can improve the lives of all of your clients as well as yourself. But the thing was, it was only in Chinese. It was in very kind of cryptid, encoded formulas that literally, if you wanted to use it, you really needed to be professionally trained in it. It is not for the common user. You needed an interpreter. So what I did is I interpreted it for you and I put it in writing, and then I had it programmed so that every single person could have a personalized TimeBlazr. And that is what's very unique to my program, is the TimeBlazr is programmed to you. And it's in English. So if English is your first language or you have a good understanding of English, this is where it can help you. Now, how did the TimeBlazr actually come about? The TimeBlazr came about, I was at a meditation retreat, and it was 14 years ago, 13, 14 years ago. 13 years ago, it was 13 years ago. And I was just sitting in meditation, and I literally, called up to the universe. I really need to know what my next steps are. And it was like a megaphone coming into my whole being. Use the calendar. So it was like, what? It didn't make sense to me at first. And then all of the downloads just happened. And I'm telling you, it was a download and very close to what you're seeing on the screen right now. 13 years ago, I had this vision of, at first, it was, okay, I was going to use it for me. Use the calendar, it was for me. That was a direct message from the universe to me. And then the more I sat there, the more I thought about one or two clients that were the VIP clients at the time. And I said, this could be good for them as well. And then I actually couldn't wait to leave the retreat center, which was kind of crazy. I'm supposed to be there in my Zen mode. But when my idea started percolating, I just wanted to run to an office supply store and buy a big poster, calendar, one of those laminated ones. And then I was going to just put in the dates and times that were favorable for myself and the clients and things like that. While I was there, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is actually going to be very good for so many people. I can help a lot of people. And there in that moment, in that whole day of that moment, I realized that I have something that was divinely given to me. It really isn't me, because the formulas of the system are ancient. But like I said, it was coded in a very cryptid language that unless you knew how to unlock these formulas, it was useless. You really didn't have much traction with it. So what I decided to do is really sit with this. And I introduced it 12 years ago during the year of, it was a tiger year, 12 years ago. So this is now 13 years later. We are now in the rabbit year. So last year was the 12th anniversary, one gyration around the zodiac. And we are now going into the next iterations. So what I'm really excited about is it went from a paper calendar for quite some years, because thinking back 13 years ago, where we were at technologically is very diverse from where we're at today. So that is the genesis of the TimeBlazr. Now, why and how would you like to use it? So the TimeBlazr is used for a myriad of things that you can do. Number one, I think the main wheelhouse of this is it's a launch calendar. So if you are someone, and hopefully you are, if you are a small business owner, that you're always doing launches. It doesn't have to be a grandiose launch. It could be a smaller launch, or it could just be working on content. A lot of people are going into online educational programs, which is great, because we have so many choices now. Not only that, but you can also do things like sign contracts. So hopefully, again, as a business owner, you are constantly sending out contracts to work with amazing people in your network. The other things that you can use it for is to forge a partnership. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be a legal entity, as in your partners for the rest of your life. As a matter of fact, the timing that we're in right now, astrologically, it really is better to have shorter JV partnerships, affiliates, working with people like that. But again, you are in an agreement with somebody. So starting those agreements on a good day and time balances the energy and benefits you, the end user, for selecting a good day and time at that particular time. Okay, that's great. What else can we use it for? We can even actually use it for doing things like launching a marketing campaign. You can use it for things that you may not even consider in business. And what about um, disengaging in agreements? Because sometimes things end and you want to do it probably on a very good note. So finding a good day to do that is really going to be to your benefit. Okay, so there's many other things that it can do for you, because I have added some wonderful features that you can benefit from. And I talked about that again a lot during this past week and the week before. So if you are someone that really wants to know some of these things, just go back and look at those on whatever channel that you happen to be watching on. Okay, all right, let's keep moving forward here. So now we're going to talk about something that I find, and I've coined this phrase, is the yin and yang of business. Now, the yin and yang of business, what that actually means is that whatever I am teaching you here, this is something that you always have to take action. There's nothing that I'm ever gonna teach you in any of my programs or events that is gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna tell you this, and you just have to understand pennies from heaven. You're just gonna manifest it in, and you don't need to do a thing. That's really the wrong approach about law of attraction, about manifestation. You need to set yourself up energetically to be able to now take action from that. So we are going to talk about a little bit of the yang side of why maybe things are not working so well for you before we jump into all of the TimeBlazr. So first of all, each year, now this is based, a lot of these slides are going to be based on American or Western. So depending on where you're at, just kind of, you can even do a Google search with your own country. But just because of our vices, our distractions, and health costs, it is costing the U.S. $1.8 trillion in lost productivity. Now, granted, this is probably, they're not interviewing the entrepreneurs out there. These are, they're going into actual businesses. But I want you to put yourself in the place of some of the things that you do that is costing you money. And that is not only your suppliers, your staff, but your own actions. Okay, so there's other things that we also do that can cost us a lot of time, precious time and money. So again, this was a survey. This one was done by HubSpot, that the average worker admits to wasting 2.9 hours each day. So if you start multiplying that out, you're going to start having a sobering image of the money that you are losing here. So again, let's just keep working on, let's just build like what are we doing and how can we get out of the quagmire, okay? So when we start to procrastinate, then we start to imagine the parts of the project, and these delays just kind of keep us from action, if you will. So the brain is something that can either help us along the way or it can stimulate us. So if you find that you're procrastinating, one of the quickest ways that you can do is to just break that pattern. Get up from your desk. Turn off all of your distractions. I mean, if there's one thing that has improved the quality of my productivity, is there's a little button. I have a Mac, so there's a little button that says "Do Not Disturb," and I have a selection of an hour, or you can customize it, or even for the whole day. So if you're working on something important, break that pattern. That's going to help you immensely. Okay, so here's another statistic, is the hidden cost of distractions. So what's kind of sobering about this is that when you look at this little infographic at the upper right-hand corner, there are 20% of people that are just literally disengaged. There's 50% partially engaged, and only 30% claim that they are consistently engaged. I would question that, because we're not robots. So I think that, some distractions are going to happen. You're going to have somebody give you a call. You're going to have to pay bills. You're going to have to, do your accounting, things like that. You're going to have to probably, if you are in business, you're probably checking your social media to see how that's all going, as far as your ads and your posts and things like that. Oh, and then you get pulled in by somebody else's comment, and then you go from one thing to the other. So I think this one is maybe a falseness here, but what the Gallup reports is only 15% of the employees across the world are actively engaged. So Gallup has got one idea I think is a little bit closer, but I even still question that 15%. So here's where we start chiseling away at our own good efforts. We start, losing our productivity. We start losing our passion for what we do. And the list can go on and on and on. So here's another thing that I also thought was very interesting, is that people that make less than $36,000 and the people that make more than $30,000 are the ones that actually stay more engaged. And the middle class is the one that is feeling most of these distractions. And I would only presume it's probably because most of those people, because of their income level, are probably having to multitask everything in their life. because of the stressors of the middle class, which, as I talked about at my annual event, is disappearing. If you're watching the news lately, you know that that is to be true. So we are going to now move on to a global. Now, even though we're not, necessarily, we're talking more about productivity and things like that, we cannot ignore mental health challenges. And in the last 3 years, they have been plentiful. And it is, according to the World Economic Forum, $2.5 trillion of estimated annual costs, and this was in 21, so imagine what that number is today, of mental cost health challenges, and that results in loss of productivity, absences, and turnover. So again, we've got to take all of these pieces into consideration, because if you don't, you're gonna start feeling the effects of the negative side of this. Now, here's another interesting piece that I just recently came across on a webinar that I attended. Actually, she was a bonus to one of my programs. And this project manager pointed out that research shows that it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain focus after a distraction. Okay, this is, I think, quite interesting here for us to take a pause on, because if you think about all of the projects that you're working on, and right now, if you have that guidebook, just go ahead and open up that guidebook to, we're going to look at the distractions right now. So what I'd like you to do is, I just want you to write down the number of projects that you are working on. And I want you to actually go ahead and list those out. I'm going to give you a few seconds to do that, because I think this is going to build the reality of how you are spending your time. So what I want you to put in buckets are, let's start with work. What work projects are you working on? So, it could be, you're working on a new class material. You might be publishing a book. You might be working on an event that you might have coming up. And you might be working on, trying out some new systems. Maybe you're looking at bringing in some AI. Well, then now that's a study project. Maybe you have a team to organize. And so this is where you need to pay attention to all of those things, right? And then we have our other buckets. They are your personal life. Maybe you're trying to learn to paint again. Maybe you are trying to get back into shape. Maybe you have some, deeper work to do as far as, you're really taking on self-care. And we're using this as a project because you do need to bring on time. Well, my friends, what I just described to you is my life. Those are the projects that I'm working on. And it really gave me, when I went through this, I was like, oh my gosh, all of these projects need so much of my time. And am I managing that time the best that I can? So the TimeBlazr is used in a way to help you launch, yes, help you keep on track, but you also have to fit into that matrix. You also have to fit in all of the projects that you are doing. Okay, with that said, now what I'd like you to do is, let's look at the projects. Now, if you're working on one project at a time, multitasking, it is very clear, doesn't work because task switching, you are losing an average of 23 minutes to regain focus. And heaven forbid that you get, an important email that just pops up because you forgot to turn on your notifications and then that distracted you, or turn your notifications off, excuse me. All right, so one project. Okay, we're kind of good here. We're focused. We can turn off the notifications, etc. But okay, I really do need to go over here and look at that other project. So okay, now I'm going to lose a little bit of time from switching the content to going into that second project. So here I am already losing, and you can fill in the blank of how much time that means for you. How much time does it really take you to go from one context to switching to another? What about the 3 projects? The book, the launch that you're doing, and maybe an event that you're working on. Okay, then look how much else is being taken out of your time of trying to multitask or doing too many things at once. Now look at, we're bringing in 4, and already half of the day is gone when you try to actually do more than one concerted effort than if you would have stayed over here and just completed what you needed to do. And I think I rattled off at least 5 or 6, not to mention my personal life, but that is a different, we're staying with business here. Nonetheless, you are working less than, you're only working 20% of the day. All right, my friends, what I want you to do right now is I want you to, you're going to need to do just a little bit of math, no problem here. But what I want you to do is I want you to be honest with yourself. Nobody has to see this, but I would like you to figure out how much time, honestly, do you feel that you are losing due to distractions. If you could write down that number, and then why don't we put that in the comments? I pulled up the comments. Hi, all about the harvest. Thanks for your notes. Hi, Kim Do. Great to see you again. Hi, Susan Mitchell. And so go ahead and put into the comments how much time per day you are actually losing consistently on distractions. And again, you can define your distractions however you would like. So go ahead and let me know that. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Just put the number in. Just 1 hour, 2 hours. I'll be really honest with you. Mine was 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day of context switching. 2 hours a day. Has anyone got me beat? All right. My distractions probably at least 1 hour a day. Okay, 1 hour a day. And now I want you to put down, typically people work 5-day weeks. And if you're working 7, you're on a burnout path. But let's say everyone is working 5 hours, okay? So now what I want you to do is I want you to take that number and multiply it by 5, whatever that is for you. So minus 10, yikes. 10 hours a week. I am losing to senseless distractions and context switching. And that doesn't even take into consideration the distractions, if you will. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is, let's just say everyone is taking a 2-week vacation, hopefully paid, and times that by 50. So if you take more than that, you take more than that, then times it by the number you are going to be using, okay? So mine is 500. All right. And now what I want you to do is I want you to put in your hourly rate. Um, and what you perceive as your hourly rate. There's a whole formula on how to do a true value, but I'm going to just keep it pretty simple math wise today. I want you to multiply that number by your hourly rate, whatever that might be. And if anyone is bold enough, what's that number? How much money is that? And I'll be really honest with you, mine was 40 grand. 40 grand a year. I am was losing to distractions. Come on, be bold here. We're here to learn. We're here to help each other. Way too much. I know all about the harvest. I know. I have to call you that because I don't know your name. But that's a cool name anyway. Um, so you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but it is actually empowering for you to understand that that money could be used for empowering yourself to have another client, a big client, a VIP client in my case, to take the place of that 40,000. Now, I'm not going for perfection. I'm going for progress. So even if I cut that number down, hi Jody, thanks for that. So even if I cut that number down, it's a far cry from where I'm just throwing away $40,000 just by merely context switching. Okay, that is sobering to me. Now, if I added, and we're not going to go through that, but if I added on top of that the cost of how much time I waste on distractions, I'll let you do the math on that. And one of the ways that you can start understanding how much time you spend on distractions is I would actually start tracking what you do with your time. From the time you sit down to the desk, every time you do something different, write it down and write how much time you're spending at each of those things. And then that's where you can start using your timer or something like that and say, okay, I'm spending X amount of time on email today. And one of the big things that I changed way many years ago is I do not check my email constantly. I check them in the morning, I will check them midday, and I will check them at the end of the day, period. Unless I'm in communication with somebody, because those things do come up. But that is a whole different scenario, right? Okay, let's move forward. All right, now here's another sobering statistic, is that there are a lot of people out there when it comes to goal setting, that the percentage of people that are winging it. So they, focus on their goals, but they don't write them down or plan them. So goal setters themselves, 34% do not write their goals down. We're going to change that today. And 24% of US adults do not do their writing down of the goals. Then we've got 32%. Yes, they write their goals down, they plan their steps, and they're focused. That's only 32% that actually does what they're supposed to do. But of the US adults that actually set goals, this is only 23%. And then there's memorizers, generalists, and inattentives, and then the percent that actually do not set goals. Look what the US adults do, 30%. That is such a sad statistic. So literally, there are only 23% of the people out there that write their goals down. And there is strong science behind When you write your goals down, you have a much better opportunity to achieve them. There is something of the tactile of writing them, typing them, however you do write your goals down. But this is something that can certainly switch immediately and keep you focused with clarity of what you want to do. I'm very guilty of this. My team probably rip their hair out on a weekly basis, maybe not daily, but a weekly basis, because I'm an idea person. But if I don't write them down and get them into some sort of system, it's just an idea. It's not a plan. It's not a goal. Okay? So that brings me to what we need to do here. We need to actually organize and plan. So here's some practical things, and then we're going to switch over to the inside, which is the TimeBlazr. But there's one study that showed that 20% of the participants feel that they're very disorganized at work. They maybe not clean up their surface, their physical surface before they shut down on any particular day. Their desktop is all disarray and things like that. And so when they come to work, they're already disorganized. And as entrepreneurs, as remote workers, which most of my clients are today, whether they are employed or self-employed, there still is that hybrid workforce out there, and I don't think it's going away. It's just too convenient and cost effective to do it this way. But if you are working in the corporate world, then most likely you have a job that has asked you to come back, maybe even just partially, if you will. 91% said that they'd be more effective and efficient in their workspace if they were better organized. So there's a statistic that, just taking, planning out your day. And here's a tip. I think I heard this first from Mel Robbins, but I can't say for sure, but I think it was Mel Robbins, who has the 5-second rule. One of the things that she helped me with, again, several years ago when I read this book, was have an end date, have an end time. So what I used to do is I have all this work to do, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and you know what? I was giving up sleep in my own wellness because I wasn't managing my time. And now I saw why, because of all of this context switching and my distractions and things like that. So there you go. Decluttering your space, of course, that's always good. And then estimate how much time a project will take. Now, using a project management system is fabulous. There's plenty of systems out there that can help you with this. And I highly encourage you to get it into some sort of project management, even if it is using Google and doing a little bit of mind mapping, and then use the TimeBlazr to help you hit those dates. And then you need to prioritize. So that's what the program really is about, is looking at your year, month, and day view, and then strategically take action to make that happen. Okay. So now let's head over to the TimeBlazr. And for those of you who are, again, new, I think it would be wise for me to tell you a little bit about what we've got going on here. So first of all, I am going to go over to the second tab over. And by now, all of you should have your TimeBlazr, so please follow along with me. Go to the second tab, and that is the astrology section. Now we're going to be I'm going to talk about it here, and then, I may refer back to it, but the TimeBlazr itself is based on your natal chart. I realize some of you may not know your hour of birth. Then of course, we will, this will not be calculated into your chart, but and a lot of people don't know it because they've been adopted or their records got lost, etc. Okay, So the natal chart is where the bones of your TimeBlazr comes from. And then we've got the 5 structures. This is going to be the yin and yang combined of your natal chart. Here's the key over here of what these colors mean. But we're going to take all of those yin and put it in a box. We're going to take all of those yang and put yin and yang. So let's see, on this chart, actually we have all yin and mostly, yeah. Well, oh, the earth is a good example. Yeah, earth has got yang earth and yin earth, and then we put it all into this dial. So this is what we are going to be. It's a filter within the TimeBlazr. We're also going to be looking at the activators, that it is such an empowering piece, excuse me, piece that you can also filter in the TimeBlazr. Then the universal gateway. The universal gateway, really what I want you just to understand now is this one direction, and then I'm going to show you how you can filter for some others. Now, the universal gateway is an empowering system. It is a meditation. It has many applications actually, but how it's used in the TimeBlazr is for manifesting, is how we're going to be using it. Okay. All right. Let's go back over to now the strategic dates. And I'm just going to kind of briefly talk about what we're going to be talking about. And then if you want to move on with me into the next step, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we're going to go more in depth during the actual class. But it comes in as a month view. It also comes in as a year view, as I showed you on a slide a few moments ago. And then we also have the day views. You can click on any one of these days. We'll just click on today, and you can see what a beautiful day this is. It's an initiate day, something to start, something new is what that means, okay? All right, so you can do all of those types of filters. You can filter out these activators. These are the 10 typical business activities that I feel that every business owner will do at least in a year. Maybe not necessarily the move, but moving and selling assets. But basically, this is where if you are, it's already programmed in for you. By default, they will all show up as the whatever icons are available to you. And the only icon that you are going to see is this little warning sign, warning, warning, warning. And that is a do not meet sign. And that means no meetings. And it really is to your benefit. It's just saying that there's something unstable in the day, whether it be on a green day or whether it's going to be on a white day. On this one, I don't see any green ones, but they will show up, believe me. But this is saying, and it is so important that I decided to have them program it on the white days as well. Not that you can ever not have a meeting, because life is life. Just be very cautious on this day, and that's how you can best use the material. Okay. You can also take them all away. You can also pre-select a few, because that's what you're kind of working on. Hit the selected, and those are the ones that are going to show through. Okay. All right. And then you can download a year view of it. I'm not going to do that right now. And then you can download, as long as your TimeBlazr is, you can download these, and then basically it's a PDF. Truthfully, that's how I do it. I love, I'm very tactile. So I really like, when I'm doing my planning, to be able to flip back and forth. And so, and I use it as a day planner, because that's how it was designed to do. And then there's also, you can take this, the TimeBlazr, and then you can add it to your Apple or your Google Calendar. So either way, and there are kind of go arounds to get it into Outlook if you are using Outlook. And then the last thing I'm going to show you are the searches. This is where I believe the hidden jewels are revealed. These secret formulas I program so you can have use for them, as well as this is where you get to personalize. I'm not the one, I've already done as much personalization as I can based on your astrology, but I have no idea what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So remember the 5 structures? The 5 structures are you're going to be choosing either a wealth day because you want to bring about wealth. Power is you want some authority. So maybe it's while you're, speaking online, or maybe you've got a speaking engagement. This will give you sort of that power that you can stand in resources, getting help from people. Networks are your networking, and then creation. I haven't done networks in a while. Let's see what that one will bring. So you just select it and then hit the search. And then once that search comes up, you just need to understand that it is pulling all the information, and depending on your internet connection, it is going to take some time to pull them up. But now we've got them listed in a way that, okay, I can either use each and every one of these to build my list, build networking types of things. And so if there is not a networking event that you can attend, create one yourself. A networking does not have to be 500 people in the room or on a Zoom meeting. It could be 2 or 3 people that you think would be good for collaborating. And so, that would be a really good thing to do. So now let's start looking at, let's just take this Tuesday, May 30th, and you just click into it. And it starts telling you a lot of information. First of all, you always want to choose really good days. Now, this one, I'm going to strategically pull together, as in if I was this person, because this is not my TimeBlazr, I would say, okay, I am going to, based on what I see here, this day is magnificent. I've got a 4-star day. So this is personalized to me, saying this day is super vibrant. Then not only are these 3 spots 5 to 7. I get up so early in the morning, I would just jump at using this time. So I'm okay with that. But then we've got this 4-hour time slot that is already vibrant. If it's vibrant, it's going to already automatically turn to green because it's pure positive energy. And then I've also got the stars. Now, every day is not going to be that way. So you have to understand that each day is going to be different. The energy is going to be different, and the astrology of the day is going to be different. So, okay. And then what else do we have here? We have one of those icons coming through so I can make a big announcement. This is really great for letting, there's no reason why you couldn't 5 days before write a stack of autoresponders that announcement coming, and ta-da, we're doing this announcement. So you could teach on this day because you've got a lot of wisdom. You could also build your networks on this day because of that little activator there. And so you could use this for a number of different reasons. Your autoresponders are working for you. Your social media is working for you. And you are either teaching or you're meeting with that very important client to close the deal. Okay, so then we have this quick action. Whenever you see a teal box like this, it doesn't show up every day. It's either going to show up in the prevailing energy, which means all throughout the day, we're going to have this quick action in leadership. So even when it shows up during the dragon hour between 7 and 8, these strings attached could go very quickly in the wrong direction. So that's why we want to pick and choose our times strategically. Now, this can also, the quick action can also show up in an hour. So it would only mean those 2 hours are quick action, or it could show up both in an hour that you choose to use and the positive influences. That's when it's like supersonic charged, and you don't want to miss those days either. So when you first get the TimeBlazr, it's kind of good to kind of flip through or toggle through to some of these really vibrant days by doing your searches and then figuring out how you're going to strategically use them. Now, when it's a green positive day, the positive influences boost up, they level up. It's like they're levitating up to give you a better opportunity. And then when it's on a white day, you're not going to see any of this color. You're going to see that these negative influences can start taking a little bit of traction too. So, okay, so let's go back to the search. And now we're going to look at the manifest for. So again, Illuminate is about self-care, launch. Can you imagine doing a launch just by searching for all of your launches? Now the manifest for is going to pull also the white days. So let's see what we have here. Again, only the May the 13th, 31st. Because I don't really want you to launch on this day, but I definitely would be manifesting on this day to do a launch. So let's do power, because the power, that could be certainly a time to. And again, this is personalized, 0 results. Okay, this one, I think I ran into this the other day where this person just doesn't have a lot of manifest fours that are showing up in the upcoming months from today. So we just don't have that many there. Oh, lots of white days though. But anyway, so this, what you need to do is, all right, I have very few to choose from. So now we have to choose the best of the best. So of these 4 days, I don't think I would choose a destruction day, a receive, or open. Open is an opportunity, so I definitely would look at that. And then right there, we've got this one time slot that's very good, or later in the evening. So definitely I would be using the manifest for to help the day along. Okay. All right. And lastly, I want to show you this last filter here, which is the values. Now, these are the 12 different types of days. I'm going to review those very quickly, but can you imagine doing a annual calendar where you put in, I just want to see the success days, and what we are pulling for you are only the positive success days, because you will see and avoid success. So it's kind of like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but it's actually true. So again, this is where you could plan out your entire year with the yearly subscription, obviously, to be able to plan out all of the success days. And you can do all of the various different types of days there, right? Okay, and you can, and again, just click right into it, and then you start doing your detailed planning on the day. So you do big brush strokes with the year, you start breaking it down to quarters, then down to the month, then down to the day. Okay? All right, I think that is all that I wanted to tell you for today. Just one last thing though, when you are doing your planning, if any of you, and please let me know, if you have an activator in this ribbon or this bar here where the month appears. I'm going to go back because I already know, just from working with you on these days. Interesting. Let me just. Nope. I thought that had an activator in it, but I guess it doesn't. Let me go forward here. Nope, not an activator there as well. So basically, if there's an activator here, the whole month will have that energy that goes across. Otherwise, you're going to start seeing them just through the days. And when you have those show up, it's just an indication, hey, this day is really suited to do attraction or sales, be a mentor, or get coaching yourself, travel, take a wellness day, and or get a wellness treatment or get a physical. This is like your personal physician. Like who has that in their back pocket? That is amazing. And then wisdom, you're writing a book, writing content, working on some difficult content. That's how it can help you along the way. Okay, so I want to talk about these 12, and then we're going to get into a little bit your planning. But I think it's important for you, especially if you're sort of new to the TimeBlazr. I know Kim has been with me for a while, so she's a seasoned TimeBlazr. But always great to see you, and so happy that you come back for refreshers because there's always something new. All right, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to talk about what you're going to want to do on any one of these days, because after this, we're going to actually do your planning. And so you're going to have to kind of need to know either through the filter that you have. And if you only have the 30-day free trial, obviously you're not going to be able to filter too much. So you may have to just go for, looking at what you see on, the month. And in your guidebook, we did give you both March and April. And if you don't have the guidebook yet, I'm sure the links are in the comments already for you to start seeing, obviously, that guidebook link. So go ahead and pull that up. All right. So balanced day is just that. It's equal. So if you want to forge a partnership of equal equanimity, this is the day to use. If you are someone that it's your IP, it's your funding, et cetera, it's probably not equal. So this may not be a good day to forge a partnership. It's also great for business negotiations. Again, when you want an equal 50-50, not really great for legal or contesting a will, et cetera, especially if you want more. But if you're going after, nope, I think it's equal, let's just divide everything up, or we're going to just close this up and everybody, takes what they are going to be, divvying it up, then fine, use the balance. But if you want more, do not use balance. Close. That's closing something up, complete projects, liquidate your inventory, close business. What you don't want to do is start something. When you're launching or forging, then obviously you are starting to look at some of the issues when it comes to, you're trying to start something, but it just seems like everything is a standstill and you're hitting the wall. When you're hitting a wall, kind of look back on when you started something, and that might be a true reason of what's going on there. Because you may have great products and services, but you're just using the wrong time to do it. To launch it or do something about what you're trying to do. So if you want to, when you think about adding on to the time that we lose with distractions and our habits and our content switching, and then you add in, you're also using a wrong day, but you didn't know this before. But now now that we know, we can't unring the bell, but we're going to just be more mindful. Okay. Destruction days, I typically don't like destruction days, but they do have their purpose. It's rare that I'm going to use a destruction day, but if you are someone that has a bad habit that you want to change, this is a great habit buster. Now, you also need to, it's going to help you, but you also have to put into place, remember, this is always action-based. You have to also have some discipline to change that habit. It's not like, oh, I'm going to start this, cleansing diet, or I'm going to stop doing, XYZ. And then the day's over and it's like, whatever. And then you go back to it. That's not a plan. That is just making yourself suffer for a day and not really, because really when you change something, it's not easy or fun sometimes to change, but you know, for the better of you and humanity, because when you're a better person, humanity is a better place. Then we gotta be uncomfortable sometimes to know that we're gonna get on the other side. So the destruction day can help you with that. If you're gonna completely destroy something like shredding documents, a demolition, this is really what it was designed for, is just to demolish something. And this system does come from the art of war, of winning the war without fighting the battle. So again, choosing strategically so that there's less collateral damage. Then, okay, we need to destroy these troops. All right, we want to destroy our competition, but there's a better way of doing it that you can save face and name, because you don't want to be coined the person that is the one that walks around with the demolition ball, right? Of just kind of like knocking things down all the time. We can find better ways to do that. But it's also good to terminate a toxic client or an employee. Again, it's harsh, but if it's gotten to the point where it's uncontrollable, this is probably a good idea to use a positive destruction day. So that would either be an excellent, favorable, or fair destruction. Once it turns white, do not take action on this day, because you will feel the collateral damage, as in, ooh, I was wrongfully terminated, or the client is like, well, you didn't hold up to your end of the contract, et cetera, et cetera. So again, check all of these things that they are not true, and then choose a good day so you have less collateral damage. Again, don't forge partnerships, launch businesses, or sign contracts, because you are setting yourself up for unsuccess. Okay. All right. The next set here, and there's 12 of them. So the next set here is establish. This is opening up a new business, starting with a new client. So this is establishing your authority. Let's say you're launching, a book. You want everyone to see you as the authority that wrote that book. So this can also be establishing. You've got maybe a new branch of your business, or you've got a new product that you're going to be launching. You're going to be opening up a new bank account. You want to establish that on a good day where there's wealth in the day, so that it continues to grow for you. Closing a business or completing projects, it's going to be very hard, because it's just keeping like, nope, you still have this to do. You still have this to do. Okay, next we have full. So a full day is, you definitely want to invest on a day like today. Obviously watching the markets, which are a total chaos right now. Hold team building meetings, because you are building the energy. It's a great time to do that. If you have accounts receivable that needs to be taken care of, this could definitely be a good day to send out your invoicing. Launch an ad campaign. You want to have full exposure to this. But what I do want to caution you, on a full day, the energetics is always going to make it full. So on your contracts, especially if you are sending out a contract on this day, I would rather choose maybe a success day, initiate day, something like that, a stable day. But if you do send it out on a full day, remember to under promise, over deliver, not vice versa. Because on this day, your client may end up saying, hey, I want to add this on there, but they don't want to pay more money, that kind of thing. Oh, I thought you said I was going to be getting this, and you maybe mentioned it, but it wasn't in the contract written, and so now they want it. But you've negotiated down because you've eliminated some things, because they didn't really want all of that, but now they want it all back. So again, over deliver, under promise. Okay. And then also begin a demolition project. Schedule a medical treatment. Not really great. Throwing in a little bit of personal thing in here. Because again, you're just full of, stuff we don't want it full of. So we want to eliminate that one. Love initiate days. Obviously, today's a beautiful initiate day at the time of this recording. So it is to begin new business, launch new products, begin new work with a client. It's just good to start anything. This would be a good day to start a new lifestyle adjustment. Now we're going to get rid of the bad habit on a destruction day or a remove day. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But you want to start something on a good footing. You don't want to start your exercise program on a destruction day. You're just like, don't even want to do it. So help yourself when you're trying to do something new. You want to learn a new language, or you want to learn a new program or something. Do it on an initiate day. It really does help. And then spend those dedicated 2 hours, because it is a 2-hour time slot in the calendar. That would be, find good stars and take the time to really dive deep in it to give it a good start. Closing up a business, finishing a project, dissolving a partnership, obviously not initiate type of activities. So be mindful of how you're using these days. All right, then we're halfway through. Now we're going to talk about open. This is about opportunities. So whenever you see, if you're really sending out, energetically, that's the in part of it, that you want these clients to come in, or you want to have a certain thing happen in your life, as well as you're actually doing the work of sending out emails and picking up the phone and talking to people, etc. This is where it can certainly help you. It will also help revitalize something after a long break. So this is really important, like how I have been working in the past on so many projects at once, but sometimes some of them got put to the side. And how to re-energize it is, go ahead and pull that back up to get re-engaged. An open day will help you with that. Forging partnerships, signing contracts, lovely. What you don't want to do, dissolve projects or close a business. That's going to be counter. Receive. Love receive, because it is very good for receiving money. It opens doors to new business. It is great to sign contracts, grand opening or open house, those kinds of things that you are actually receiving the energy. And really, when you receive this, be in much gratitude of when the levers start working and the mechanism is working for you, then go ahead and continue to have that energy just as a continuous flow. That will really help you. Again, we don't really like medical treatments on this day because you could be receiving germs from the room. Again, these are ancient formulas modernized for today, but I would avoid a receive day if you could. And then demolition, not very good, because it's always trying to rebuild. Remove, I absolutely love remove days. Between the 2 days, if I had to pick the number one, I would say probably a success day. But the number two, very close in the line, would be remove. I love remove days because I love I'm like a taskmaster. I like to clear things off and check them off and get them done, and I like to remove things that no longer serve me. I'm not quite a minimalist, but I definitely am, and I'm actually on a mission. If you want to know something personal that I'm using with remove, I'm trying to digitalize my life down to a thumb drive, because I love to travel and I want to be looking forward to some opportunities for travel that I will be away for a month at a time from my office, but I would still be working there. It's, that laptop entrepreneurship. So I need to have everything up in the cloud. And I've got a lot of things that from the time that are, more things from the past that I need to digitalize, because moving forward, everything is pretty much digitalized in my office now. But this could be a good day to really take, an entire day, and I've done this periodically, where I've done remove day retreats. Maybe we'll bring those back this year. We'll see, where we're actually like in group. We've got a project to work on, and because some of these things do take a good deal of time. When you set up a good system, believe me, you're going to invest some time to do it properly, to have it set up. Now, it's really good actually to have surgery if you are having something removed from your body. This would be, something that, like a tumor or a cataract or something that they need to take away from your body. This would be a good day to use. Again, shred documents, etc. And this is actually a much more benevolent way to remove a partnership. Now, just because you're dissolving a partnership does not mean that it ended poorly. It just means it's done. So it's better to have your goodbye parties or your going away, send-offs on a removed day, and it's a win-win situation. Now, if you are someone who needs to take a little bit more action, a little bit stronger action, then you would use a day that their day of birth, write this down, their day of birth, you need to know that, to remove them from the partnership if you are going to remain the partner. Now, this would mean you need to know their birth information, and you could remove them and clash them out of the business, the partnership, the agreement that you're having. If you yourself want to remove yourself from the situation, then you will clash your day of birth out. So that was probably a little bit advanced for this free webinar. I'll explain that a little bit more in the program. But these are the finessing that you can do to empower yourself. I just can't say enough about how empowering the system can be for you if you use it how it's intended. Okay, our last group here, risk reward. Now, risk reward means quite that, is just that you are taking a little bit of risk, but you are pretty much certain that the whatever activity you're doing is going to come to fruition. So it's great for that. You could use it for a big closeout sale. You could contact that high profile client. So, and I really want you to kind of test this. Is meeting with, that high-powered VIP client that, you're going to put yourself in the best position as possible. You're going to be prepared for the meeting, and or you're going to send a contract to them on that day, but you are going to really level up and really show up, stand in your power to really help yourself move forward. This is where you can use that. And you can also use, begin this for a large upscale project. I wouldn't use it to get engaged, travel, or engage in extreme sports. It's risky. So I think that's enough said about that. A stable day like this as well, because we want stability, right? We're looking for some balance at this point. So this is good for beginning a leadership training, attend a networking event, open up a new business, anywhere you want some stable foundational energy that is going to be happening, that you can always know that if it was started on a good, stable foundation, that it will hold throughout. Now, it depends on how long the project is, but it can, and then just like all of the other systems that we do, we always continue to energize it by adding days along the way. So if you started, let's say you're going to write a book, and you're going to start it on a stable day or an initiate day or a success day, but we are talking about stable right now. You're going to start it on a stable day, but you're also going to find that end date. And, you know, your book is going to be launched in October or November. So you look for those 2 months, you find the date that you want to be, and what do? You look for all those icons, you look for all those stars, you look for, you know, your personalization on the day, and then that's your end date. Well, everything in between, there's so many steps. You choose TimeBlazr dates to help you along the way. Okay. All right. Now I want you to refer again to your activity book that and I so I see in the chat, you can find the TimeBlazr guidebooks in the training tab. Yes, but the activity book, if you haven't gotten the activity book, if you can drop that link in there for those who do not have the activity book. So we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to give you a little time. Now, this is 30 days that we're going to be looking at. And in your activity book, we gave you the month of March and the month of April. Now, if you have a 30-day, and depending on when you got that 30-day, then you will be seeing that, you know, you can only open it up, you know, for only those 30 days. But at least you can see what the you know, what the energy is from a global view, which what I'm meaning by that is the month view. And so first of all, you need to clearly define what you want. And what I want you to do is I'm going to go back to the TimeBlazr in just a second here, but what I want you to do is I want you to define one 30-day goal that you are absolutely committed to achieving in the next 30 days. Greetings, Monifa. How do I make sure that the TimeBlazr is taking your natal time zone instead of the billing zone? Because you filled out your time of birth. I didn't. I don't even look at where you're from. I don't even know where you're from. Where are you from, Monifa? Let us know. You filled out in the TimeBlazr, I was born on this day, month, year, and hour. You were the one that entered that information. So you can rest assured that it is correct if you keyed it in properly. But Monifa, let me know where you're calling in from, okay? And let me know if I massacred your name or if I kind of got it right. All right, back over here. So I want you, that's number one. And I'm going to give you, and I really want you to think about this. You've got 30 days. And we're going to use the TimeBlazr for you to designate when that end goal is going to come to fruition. And then we're going to take some steps to get you there. Everybody got that? Give me a thumbs up if you did, please, and so we can keep moving forward. I need to know where you're at because I can't see you, so I need to hear from you. You're in California, Manitha. Yeah, great. Just recently left there. Everybody have their goal? And if you can just give me a thumbs up or say yes. Hand pink waving. Oh, hello. I came. Got it. Great. All right, cool. All right. So number 2, how are you going to get there? And what I mean by how are you going to get there, what steps do you know that are going to be necessary for you to achieve that goal? So, for example, in the next 30 days, I'm actually going to start my book. So, what do I need for my annual book? I write a book every year on the annual energies, and we're in the water rabbit right now, and we're going to be going into the wood dragon next year. Big seismic shift into the dragon year next year. And great, Susan. Thank you. All right. So, but what are we going to do in the next 30 days that we can be looking at? So, I need to do things like I need to, set up the template. I need to pull new energy about the compass dials. There's so much research that goes into that book, and it takes me all from April all the way to my first event in November, my first live event in November, to get that script into a manuscript, as well as for my event. But I need to have that done. So what are some of the things? Just write them down, practical everyday things that you need to do. You might need to get your collateral ready. You might need to send out some social media posts. You might need to phone some people. And okay, well, that's great. I need you to write those things down. So go ahead and write those down, and then let me know if when you've done that by putting steps done. Okay, great. Good job, everyone. Good job. Yay, yay, yay. All right. And now I'm going to drop down to sort of this last question, list of helpful resources. So, do you need to do any research on what this goal may uh, need for it to really get the outcome that you want? And what I mean by that is, oh, I was writing fast. I have lots of steps to do before launching my pre-recorded course. But see, this is actually the writing down part of it. Because if we just wing it and keep going, oh my gosh, I've got it in my head what I need to do. But believe me, the more you get disciplined into writing things down, you are going to find that your business is going to really pop. So congratulations. I'm really proud of you. So everyone I think is with us here. So the list of resources, and you can, continue on after the webinar, obviously, but the list of resources, it could be other people. You might need some affiliates to help you. You might need, I don't know, a bonus that you're going to add on to your to add on here. So this is where I would say you're going to do quite well if you list these out now, and then you will have a plan. So then from there, what I need you to do, well, let me go ahead. I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to write those out because I want you to walk away with a plan. One of the things that just kills me is when people attend all kinds of webinars and then they have all this stuff to do after and it never gets done. I want you to walk away with a plan today. So write out those resources, helpful resources. What would they be? They may not be specific right now, but at least I got to research this. And then again, just put in the chat, done. How we doing? Great, Jody. Great, Kim. Awesome, Susan. And Monifa. Okay, there you are. Okay, we're all there. Good. Okay. All right. So, okay. So now what I want you to do, you can look on, your guidebook, obviously, but I am going to go back to the TimeBlazr and the live TimeBlazr. because now what I want you to do, we are obviously at the 15th. So we don't have a lot of time left in the month of March, but we've got some good days. So what I want you to do now is between March and April. Now you have to look at your TimeBlazr because it will be different than what you see here. And just so you know, the differences that you will see were all those filters that I was talking about. The stars are unique to you, and the icons are unique to you. But everybody's going to see risk reward. Everybody's going to see success. But how successful is it to that person? Okay, so we are going to look at March, and then I'm also going to show you April. All right, so April, let's just say you have it to the 15th. I don't know I don't know when you decided to come in and do your 30-day free, but you now have, let's just say you have until the 15th of next month, which is already in the dragon month. I said this during the kind of the free setups, that the month never starts at the 1st. It starts anywhere from the 3rd. It can start anywhere up until the 9th of any given month. So this is when the dragon month begins. So we have a different energetics going on there, but you don't have to worry about that. That's not important. Again, it's just one month to the next. It's still programmed to you. So you need to choose a day that has, based on what you're trying to do, I would say you have lots of choices here. Now, Jody, I think, said that she's got a course that she wants to launch. So she could look at success days, open days, stable days, initiate days, things like that. And then let's look back at it here. We have success, full, stable, initiate, and more success days. Beautiful, beautiful energy to do a quick, fast money launch. So then what you need to do is, once you chose the day, now you have to put in your mind all of the things that you just wrote down. You wrote down what the goal was, all the steps that you need to do, all the steps that need to happen as far as resources, but you still have to initiate those. So this is where I would say we would start looking at the TimeBlazr for some specific things. So Jody, since you told me what you were doing, it sounds like a program that you're going to be doing, pre-recorded course. And I want to know if you are going to actually launch it on one of these days that we are talking about. And if you have chosen the day, and let's see if we can help you plan out the steps. So what day did you choose that you have within your TimeBlazr? And I know she's probably typing right now. So what I want all of you to do is choose that end date. And then let's just say some of you are going to choose, I'm going to choose this one for this person because it has all of this wonderful energy on it. I'm going to just say some of you might be choosing the 27th. So I'm going to put that there until I hear from Jody. And let's just say it is, I'm going to be launching a course. So I have all of these business activities that are icons that are going to help me. It's already saying I'm going to be great on stage because people are going to want to learn from me. So that's great. I'll get back to you in just a second, Jody. And then we've got this quick action. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to launch this course. And let's just say I've decided to do it in the evening of that day. It's a 7 to 9 launch that I'm going to be doing. And then between 9 and 10 59 a.m. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send out blasts of email, social media posts. I've been doing it all along, but this is launch day. This is really where we're going to go and make a big splash. And then throughout the day, you're going to have to see, this might be a good time just to rejuvenate yourself, get yourself ready for the upcoming webinar. I'd love to tell you, if we have some time, how I spent this day, what I did today in preparation for today's webinar, because I think it's important for you to know how I'm personally using it too. We'll go back to that if we have time. Remind me if I forget. All right. So, and then I'm going to launch here. Now, say that I've got a course that is 5 modules, and I started it on a good day, but maybe the following Monday isn't. Once you initiate something, regardless if it's an initiate day or let's maybe use a different word, if you begin something, once you trigger that energy on a good day, the series will begin. So you don't have to worry about, oh, well, next Monday seems like garbage. Well, it doesn't matter. You launched on a good day. If you break the series, though, then you're going to have to, as in maybe you've taken a month off or something, then I probably, unless it's a monthly series, because my one of my masterminds is a monthly series, and I started it on a good day, and then we just continue on. So that's how you would use it. All right, let's find out what Jody is going to be doing on the 8th. All right, the 8th. Why? Let me know why you would choose the 8th. I know for everyone, now you may not have a no meet day. I'm not worried about that. But on this day, it's an unfavorable open day. It may be because your schedule is limited. You can only do it on that Wednesday. Let me go back to April. No, April 8th. I must have been on the wrong, sorry. I think I was on the wrong month. Awesome. Thank you. Catch my own mistake there. All right. So it is a favorable stable day, Yang Fire Monkey. And it, I don't know how many stars you have. Yeah, I was on the wrong month. Sorry. And I don't know how many icons you have. I don't know how many, I don't know if you have an activator on this time. But what I would do is I would say, okay, this is a great day. I am going to approve this day for you, April. Great job. And then now I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to start plugging in from the 8th back. And this is what I actually do. I count back how many days I have from the 8th. So let's just count it. 4 stars for me. Awesome. Do you have any icons or activators on the day? Let me know that as well. Or a manifest 4. Whew, if you have a manifest 4, that's over the moon. All right. So we know that we're 8 days here. And then from negotiate manifest key. Oh my golly. All right. Before we go back, this is how I want Jody to play out this day. Work with me because you're seeing things here that she doesn't have. It's not a 5-star day. It's a 4-star day. She has, I didn't see any icons, but it's a negotiate. So it's a manifest 4 day. So my dear, I need you to get up early in the morning. You don't have to get up at midnight. I'm not asking you that. But, and then what time is your launch? Is it the 1 to 3 or is it the 7 to 9? And what direction? Click on the day and tell me what direction it is. 2 icons. Rocket and megaphone. Yay. Okay. All right. Ooh, I'm so excited for you. All right. And then the negotiate manifest key. click on click on the day for you on the 8th and tell me what direction it says. Back to what? This is amazing for you, Jody. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I want all of you to be doing the same thing. We need to piece together. It's like you've got already a good ice cream cone. I'm going to use ice cream right here. Dairy-free ice cream, because I have dairy. Dairy-free ice cream. It's a coconut ice cream. And then I got that one flavor, and then, oh my gosh, I get to get another flavor on top, and I get sprinkles on top of that, and the cone is dipped in chocolate. It's like, it can't get any better. So anyway, so while she's finding her negotiate time, this is how you would use it. Now, my computer, by the way, is one of these days I'll take a picture of it. Somebody gifted me a compass, a big, big, big decorative compass, and I put it on a Lazy Susan so that I can turn my computer. I have a desktop computer, but I can turn the screen to my various different back to for my manifest fours. So what I'm trying to say here, Jody, before you go live with your course, what I want you to do is put your back to that direction, and then just you may be green times 1 to 3 with 1 star, 7 to 9 with 1 star. Yeah, so it's up to you. I mean, you can figure that out. That's not something you have to decide right now. But let's just say you're doing the 1 o'clock one, and then you're going to be putting your back to. Now, everything is a negotiation, in my opinion, right? So you could be asking within that realm of, I need help on this course to bring in the people that I want to bring in, and we're going to bring in some really good help along the way. So asking for that, and then if you can be in that direction during the time that you are presenting, you will have universal support. So again, this is an energetic calendar based on your personal energy, as well as your obviously good deeds, your great content and things like that. All right, so now we're going to go back to the month, and we're going to count. There's 8. And then we're going to go back to March. And so then we're going to go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So you got 25 days left. 25 days left before that course is done. So here's the reality check. Is that enough time? So what you can do is things like only have 1 module done if it's a pilot, and it sounds like it is a new course, which you could do as a pilot. You really actually only have to have 1 or 2 of the modules done, again, depending on your discipline. I don't know how many modules your program is, but let's say it's 5. It's a 5-week program or a 5-day program, or on demand, however it goes. But you don't have to have everything done on launch, and let people know it's a pilot. You can play around with pricing that way and things like that. So then what are some of the other things that I need to do? So then you start taking the activities that you already have identified, and then you start using all of these other days to do that. Now, what do you use all of these white days for? Content creation. This is your busy work that you need to do. This is your research that you need to do. And if you are disciplined enough, and let's just say you are starting it today, and I didn't catch where you are from, Jody. But if you're on the West Coast, you still have time. And truthfully, you're doing it right now, so you really are able to say, I have started this, because you are mind mapping it out a little bit. Quick action, right? But if it is not 1 o'clock where you're at right now, you have started it. You could have started it, during this time, right? Okay. So then what you do from there is you say, okay, now I'm going to do some content creation. Even though in this in the and the task started yesterday, so I'm not worried about the destruction day. But maybe I'm going to go, but you know what? I've got 2 hours that I can spend to do that. So I am going to choose either this 11 o'clock hour or this 5 o'clock hour. Again, I don't know if you have children. I don't know if you have a husband. I don't know if you have pets. There's all these things to take into consideration on when you're choosing the times. But if you can find the discipline to take 2 hours a day, of the 5 days, we don't want you, burning yourself out either. And each day you kind of do that, right? So Fridays are always an important day for me, because I think this is and this is for all of you. This Friday, what I'd like you to do is I would like for you to plan out your week ahead. I used to do something called TimeBlazr Tuesdays, where I would, help people plan out week by week. I'm not sure if that's something you want me to bring back or not. I'm not sure if I want to bring it back, but it was something that I do plan out the week, so you can look back at this past week, figure out what you've already done towards this launch, and then plan out the next week. Okay, I got this checked off my list, or I'm just not happy with the direction this is going. Do that early to figure out the direction you're going, right? Okay, and then you plan out the rest of the week, the rest of your task, based on the task list that you have said that you were going to create, right? Now, what I would be doing all along the way is I would be going back to this astrology chart. It's embedded into your DNA, is your command direction. So I wouldn't worry about too much what all of these terms mean. What I would do, and if you are interested, you have to go pick up my book on Amazon. But for right now, just pitch it back to the west, or your direction, not to the west. Look at it might be the west, but look at what your direction is, and then go ahead and use that on a daily basis. This is something that will take you 5 minutes. I don't expect you to sit there for hours on end, but I definitely would be using it on a daily basis. Okay, was that helpful for you, Jody? Oh, Central Time. So anyway, you got us started. So was that helpful for you, Jody? Either a thumbs up or yes or whatever. Okay, moving on. All right, so here's a couple of other things that can help facilitate you when you're so intensely working on your TimeBlazr, and that is work in 90-minute intervals, 90 to 120 minutes. Guess what? Those TimeBlazr, I'm glad, Jody, thank you. Those TimeBlazr time slots are 2 hours. They're 120 minutes. What if you are doing sales calls? I'll address that in just a second. Okay. 120 minutes is a 2-hour time slot. So your brain will tap out. Even if there's a 4-hour time slot there, give yourself a mental break. Get away from your computer. It's good for your eyes anyway. get a glass of water, walk around, outside a little bit, get a little sunshine in you. These will help you be more productive. And then when you go back, this is not necessarily contact breaking. It is taking care of yourself. It's very different than jumping on Facebook as a break. That is not a break. That is bombardment. Okay. So, and again, multitasking, we've already discussed, is not going to be helpful at all. And then what I want you to do is definitely to start organizing and planning. So, we talked about the disorganization and all of that. So, and then when you add in the TimeBlazr, this is going to be a much bigger scenario. So, oops, I don't want to take that. I guess I had another filter under there. Okay, so I'm going to answer Manifa's question. I've actually had, and still do, have clients that are in sales. And so they make sales calls. Now, is that your full-time job, Manifa, where you, have that list and you need to make a bank of calls day in and day out? That's one thing. If you are an entrepreneur and need to make sales calls, then what I would do is I would dissect it out again to try to find the best times. Let me go back over to the TimeBlazr. I think it's easier just to show you in kind of real time. So let's just take the rest of this week, and I have to make sales calls. All right. We already know what today is bringing. So wherever you're located, you're going to be, right now it's almost 3. And so we've got these particular, oh no, just for potential clients. I would use the good time slots is what I would use. But I would use the good time slots if you can. But if you are in sales, I wouldn't get too wrapped up in that you have to do them all at once there. Okay. All right. So we're just finishing up here. Survival versus thriving. When you are in survival mode, everything seems urgent versus calm and strategic. That's what we're trying to do, is bring that balance. You're reactive instead of proactive. And everything is in crisis mode instead of having a peace of mind. Everybody's just pressuring. Everything is just a pressure. And then you can't innovate or create because you are always kind of stressed. So that, lack of innovation to innovation. And then no time to quality time. I believe that, managing your time in the TimeBlazr way is a whole new way of looking at the way you are running your life. Instead of the calendar running you take power back. So I told you earlier about looking at the TimeBlazr and this program that I'm going to be doing. So what we're going to be offering is a program that is going to take what we talked today to the very next level. And that is, we are going to be using the TimeBlazr, and I'm going to show you how to map out the rest of the year. So that class is going to be on March 24th, and it includes a year of the TimeBlazr. And then my, I believe, innovative way of planning your goals. Like, for example, has anyone ever, with the exception of Kim, who is using my system, has anyone ever based their goals on their energy? So during this course, we're also going to be looking at your natal chart and what is available to you energetically during the water rabbit year which ends in February 4th of 2024. And I'm telling you, big shift. And so we have this course that I cannot say enough about. So if you want to head on over there, you can either click that link that was dropped into the comments, or scan that QR code, whatever works for you. And I just wanted to also let you know what comes with it, which I'm really excited about, is our TimeBlazr app. Now, I have to be really honest with you. It is in beta mode still. We're going to take it out of beta probably maybe sometime this summer. Oh, great. I'm glad to hear that, Manifa. Whatever you saw on the web version, that's what you will see in the app. And so just know that it is in beta. So every once in a while we have to do updates and stuff like that. But we love to hear any feedback on that. So anyway, I also wanted to let you know that this is the last chance of that price that you saw on the landing page is the last time we are going to offer it at this price. So I feel that we have done so much work. We have really opened it up to people to have the free version over and over again, which is also going to stop. We're no longer going to just keep extending that out, because we're now tightening up some of the systems where we know that with certainty that we're where we want it at. So we are going to again raise that price. And so after this offer, even if you went on my website, you won't be able to get this price. So you get the software as well as the class on the goal setting. So this is just a way to get you started. And we also know that right now it is a time where there is a little bit of strain across the board for a lot of people. So we wanted to do a program that would immediately help you make informed decisions and take the right action every single time. So we hope you're going to join us. Again, that's on the 24th. And as we close up here, I want to thank you very, very much for participating today. It was a pleasure. It was my pleasure to be here with you. And for those of you who are listening on the replay or on other channels, we do appreciate you as well. I would also please ask if you could please leave the comment of what value you got out of today's presentation in the comments. It would be so helpful for me if you would do that. Give me a like, and then also share out this link. I would be so grateful for you for spending the time with me today. So I wish you the rest of your day. I hope it is magnificent as you are, and I will to the end of okay, so we are good to go, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Bye-bye now.